Hello, my beautiful super soul sisters, and today we're going to talk about monitor shoes. And this is a fantastic pair of shoes that every single lady should have in her closet because it helps you gauge where you are at in your self-improvement journey, your personal development. How can you measure how far you've come if you haven't got those milestones in place where you can go, I've got a benchmark, and I can go, right, I have improved this. So you'll notice that I often, and especially people who know me and who've worked with me and if you've been, part of my group sessions and stuff, I always have this thing called the happiness scale. So where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the happiest, okay? And I always do this before and after every single technique that I do as well. So if you, are into the my emotional resilience toolkit that I talk about and that I'm selling, they're little techniques that every single woman should have in her handbag. It's a little emotional resilience toolkit, I call it. It's a virtual thing, and you can have as many tools in there as you actually like. So you can, there's a bundle that like is a core one that I would suggest that you get, that every person gets, but you can add these things on as you go. Now, the reason I'm sort of saying that is that, when you are trying to gauge where you're going, I ask you every time before you start an exercise, where are you on that scale? So it may not be happiness, but say you're working on happiness, or say you're, I'm feeling really down, like I'm really depressed today, or I'm feeling really angry, whatever, you pick the emotion. You've got to gauge yourself. Like, I'm really angry. I'm like an 8, 9, possibly even a 10, okay? And then what we do is we've got our monitor shoes on and we say, right, we're going to just keep those little babies on. We'll do the exercise, the technique, or the strategy, implement whatever it is. And then I ask you to gauge yourself again. Put your monitor shoes back on at the end of the exercise and tell me what the improvement is. Well, it's exactly the same in life. Little steps, ladies, little steps. So like, if we're not measuring, if we aren't consciously going, oh, this is where I'm at. Oh, I didn't realize that I was so angry, so depressed, so irritated, so whatever, numb, whatever it is that you're feeling. Like, it's like, what's your level of disconnect? I mean, I even have that, that's a common one. That is a coping strategy, dare I say, of the manager. If you haven't taken that quiz yet, of the 3 hidden shoe types, that every single person wears, every single person has in the closet, including yourself. If you haven't taken that quiz, completely free, click on the link. It'll be in the description box below. Just do it. It tells you why, what shoes you wear every single day that you didn't even know you were wearing. Really key. And it gives you an idea of like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I worked that. Why? And it tells you why. If you get the PDF, it's free. We'll just email that to you. And when you get that kind of information, you can go, well, do you know what? I realize that I get triggered, by this, and this. Never knew that before. I wear, my party animal shoes. I wear my, drinking shoes. I wear my overeating shoes because I get triggered by X, Y, and Z. Well, how often does that happen? Have you got your monitor shoes on? That's when you go, oh, first of all, consciousness, like I am consciously aware that I am doing my overeating shoes. Okay. So say we'll take a lovely case of, ladies in overwhelm. That's all of us, right? I don't think there's many ladies who aren't in this modern day society, dare I say it, There's just so much happening and we don't have time to work it out. But I just consciously aware of like, start with that feeling. It's like, oh, I'm feeling like I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so stressed. Like, I'm so stressed at the end of the day. And then, I tend to reach for the chocolate and ice cream or both. And I sit in front of a TV and that's it. The whole evening is gone because I've just done stuff, stuffing the hole. Like, I talk about the whole me to whole me, and I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But effectively what we're doing is we're filling the holes, but we're not even consciously aware. So first of all, which is what this is all about, the Vicki Jane channel is all about, and the Vicki Jane Facebook group, is understanding what our drivers are, who we are, what shoes we're wearing, what shoes we're not, So we've got that feng shui thing happening where we can now go, that doesn't work for me. Those pair of shoes do work for me. I don't want to wear those shoes anymore. These are shoes I really want to have. But if you don't monitor, if you don't gauge where you're at, before and after, like, I wore those shoes. Were they as sweet as I thought they would be? Well, maybe not. Maybe actually I need to, change them out for something else. Or, it might be that it's a pair of exercise shoes and you're going, oh, well, I've noticed that, I've decided I was going to do some like hardcore exercise, did it, and actually, I just don't like it. It just doesn't work for me. I've got a thing like with, and this works for a lot of people, hatha yoga, that hot yoga. You see, for me, like I struggle with that really high heat. So as much as it's supposed to be the whole thing of mindset, for me personally, that doesn't really work. But I love my yoga. I love my restorative yoga. I love Jing. I love Qigong. So there's all types, but it's just like, well, maybe it's just a different type of shoes. But without monitoring it, like if you go in and you actually go, right, before and after, did that work for me? Yes or no? If it didn't work for me, take off the shoes that aren't working for me, and let's put a pair of shoes on that do work for you. So when you monitor, you can start gauging, this is where I'm at. And it's not just in terms of their little exercise, it's everything in life. It's like, let's monitor how happy you are right now, okay, with your life, okay? Am I out of 10? So it's the bigger stuff as well. So it can be, do you know what? Overall, I think my life's pretty good, like I'd say I'm pretty 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. Sweet, you're doing a great job, okay? Or it might be that, you know what? I am so drained, which might be why you're doing the eating and the, that example that I was giving is like, yeah, oh my gosh, So you sit down, you are so stressed. You had such a big day. You've come home. You're doing all the chores in the house. The kids have not helped, or they're not able to because they're too little, or whatever the case may be, that you just collapse in a heap because you're so absolutely exhausted, okay? You sit down, you eat a tub of ice cream, a whole bar of chocolate, not maybe even a small one, maybe a big one. And then you go, how do I feel now that I've done that? And now I've put on more weight. So is that a winning strategy? So you had your monitor shoes on, like if I do this now. So what would make me feel better might be that you might say, right, instead I'll do one of Vicki Jane's, emotional resilience techniques that will help me de-stress. And I'll do tapping, or I'll do the breathing, and it does require you to think outside the square and to be open. You have to be open-minded with a lot of this stuff, because I have to say I certainly wasn't when I first came across it. I'm a good old Zimbo chick, and when I came along with this stuff I was like, okay, but I'm really open-minded about stuff. I will try it, and if it works then I'll do it, and this works repeatedly and has done for many years with a lot of my clients, so there's no reason why it wouldn't for you, right? But we want to monitor, where we are. And so what I would also say is, like with the bigger stuff as well, like when you start getting clear about what your shoes are that you do want on your path, like what ones you don't want, you biff those, what ones you want to wear, and on what path you want to walk on. When you start walking down that path, start measuring it, start going, okay, yeah, this is feeling good. I started off and I was like, yeah, it's, I'm a little bit nervous. Maybe I'm like a 3 or 4, but I'm at least, taking my step up shoes that we were talking about yesterday. I've got my step up shoes. I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to, take the plunge and go for it. And then you do that and you go, oh, wow, I feel like I'm a 6 out of, and, things aren't completely showing that it's working, but I feel good about it. And, I think I'm going to carry on. Then you check again on another day, or in a few weeks, or in a month, or whatever, and check that everything, you're calibrating the whole time. You've got your monitor shoes on, you're going, right, okay, I'm gauging. Yes, that's working. That's not working. And this is why you also want to do the monitoring if something isn't working. What do you need to change in order to recalibrate, to get the balance that you need? Maybe you need some help. Maybe you need, something extra that you support. Is it an internal thing? Is it an external thing? It could be real basic strategies about your business, but you need your monitor shoes on to be able to identify, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not working. And if you got to test and measure, and it doesn't matter what it is. And I use that with everything from the little stuff to the big stuff. So taking your little steps. So what monitor shoes can you have on today? If you slapped on this pair of monitor shoes today, what would you be monitoring? And go, right, do you know what? I'm going to monitor, I don't know, like just say, like, I'm going to see, how happy I am in my work, okay? And you can just go, out of 10, where am I, with my business or with work or whatever. And then you can gauge, right, if I took it to the next level, how could I improve that so that I'm not feeling so wobbly or whatever? If you're really happy with it, fantastic. If you're not having a great day, monitor it, notice it, go, well, that dropped. Why? Why did it not work? Doesn't matter what it is. If you wouldn't mind sharing in the comments box, that would be fantastic. If you wouldn't mind sharing and subscribing this video to somebody who, a beautiful, lovely lady just like you, could probably do with little steps to help them get on their own path, going their own way, I'd be so grateful, because this is my life's purpose. This is what I'm all about. It's, we're all here. We've got one shot. We've got to get it right, guys. There's no dress rehearsal. And, I really want to get you in your own shoes, on your own path, going your own way. And for as many ladies, like what I call my super soul sisters, as many as possible. So if you can think of a wonderful, beautiful lady who would be up for taking that challenge on board, looking to improve themselves, please share. Thank you. All right. Namaste. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.